Hello and welcome to this video where today I thought it would be a nice idea to try and do some landscape photography. So we are currently staying at the Tobermory marina, and one of the things I love to do here is head out to the lighthouse. It's a 2-kilometre walk and it starts at the end of town next to the lifeboat station and the ferry terminal. It is a lovely walk, but also I really like the lighthouse, and I photographed it pretty much every time we've come out to Tobermory. However, I haven't really done it with proper intention, as it were. So I've brought the tripod and I brought my filters. I've got a circular polarizer and a bit hardcore for today, but a 10-stop ND as well to really slow the shutters down. And we're going to head out and hopefully get some really nice photos of the lighthouse. Weather-wise, it is a bit grotty this morning. However, I'm hoping that that's going to play to my favour. I quite like quite stormy looking skies, so I'm hoping we're going to get those. But also it means that this trail should be quite quiet this morning. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. It is just about 9 o'clock, I think. So, and with the rain, sort of showers coming in, I'm hoping that people are going to be leaving off this walk till a little bit later on this afternoon, which hopefully means that I'll be left to my own devices so I can come up with a few different compositions whilst I'm down there. And hopefully we might have timed it right that we get a ferry compass and we can add an extra layer of interest into the images. So I'm about half a kilometre away from the lighthouse now, and there is a bit more sea mist around than what I was anticipating. I'm hoping we might get a break in it, so you can see there's some land here, and oh, there's trees in the way now, but there should be land in front of me as well. Let me see if I can get to a spot where we can see out. And I was hoping that there would be some land there that we could see. That this is it's sort of there, but not quite. So our first stop to see the lighthouse and photograph it is down at the viewpoint. Lens-wise, I've got my Sony A7 IV with the 24-70 on it. I have also bought the A7 IV with the 70-200 in case I want to get something a bit more compressed. And like I said, I've got all my filters, so I'm going to get my things out and we'll just start having a wander around, having a look, seeing if there's anything that takes a fancy, and if there is, we can either set up on the tripod if that is needed or just take our photo. What I'm going to do is just get the camera ready to start having the filters on it. They are magnetic filters, which I love, and so they're easy to put on and take off. So that's the ring on. This one is the polarizer. Now, one of the things that I like about this sort of setup is that even with the hood on, I can use the filters, so it does get a bit fiddly, mind. So they do just about fit if you put them on after you put your thing on. It does mean it is a bit difficult to get sort of access to them, even with the little access thing here. It can still be a bit fiddly. However, I feel I'd rather have that on today because it is a bit drizzly. Look. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to start with, take that off, the polarizer first, because that's going to cut down on some of the reflections that we have. Oh, and it's clearing up, folks. Look. We can see land. Right, I'm going to take this opportunity to stop faffing and start photographing. So for my first image, what I've done is I've actually dropped down a bit from the viewpoint because I want a bit of this like foreground interest. Up there isn't really much of it. So we've got like these nice rocks and things down here. And what I'm hoping is as we get going, I'm going to get better at it and get better at finding different compositions and getting some sort of different sort of photos from what I've got in the past. And yeah, we'll just see what we can get really. This is sort of quite out of my comfort zone. I am more comfortable taking photos of wildlife, obviously, and dogs and sports and stuff. So, but doing landscape photography is one of the goals that I have set myself for this year. So we're not going to get any better if we don't try, are we? So I might drop down a bit further and get a bit more sort of these rocks. There's a little bit of sea thrift down there as well, which I quite like. So yeah, we are going to experiment together. So we've got the first ferry of the day coming out of Tobermory. So I'm probably going to miss the first shot. I think I want to be on that side of it, shooting that way, having the boat come in to frame, which is a shame. I don't think I've got time to get down there, to be honest. They move pretty fast, those ferries. But I'm struggling a bit on this side. I'm not used to shooting with a wide angle, and trying to work out what foreground bits to keep in and take out are proving a little bit difficult. This is so much harder than I thought it was going to be. We try down in the rocks. See, I don't not like this, but I feel like the foreground's too dominant. There. Oh, that's not too bad. Because at the moment from here, if I'm shooting high up, we just got this expanse of water in the front, which isn't particularly interesting. I might swap on to the 70-200, you know. Oh. You're all right. I'm going to get the other camera out just to see what it looks like. We'll say, whilst it's not totally necessary for someone like me who's just a hobbyist, it is really handy having two cameras. Photo do I like better? That's the thing. I don't know. Basically this rock, like I want to try and get it to fill the whole of the bottom of the frame and then not cut in either, which is proving quite hard because the rock is sort of going up like that. So it might be that maybe this just doesn't work, this scene. Oh yeah, or I could just do it vertically. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? I feel like I might be overthinking this scene a bit. So we'll pop that away. got options though, guys, and that's all that I can ask for, really, I think. Vertically, I actually do quite like it. So what I'm going to do is try and slow it down a bit to make it a little bit more interesting. And to do that, I think I'm going to have to put the other filter on. And we'll pop some 10 stuff on. Now, I think really on a day like this, like a 3 or a 6 would be better. But we don't have access to those. So 10 it is. And I can't see anything. What we'll do is do a test shot first in portrait, and we'll put it on a 2-second timer. See, I'm actually not upset about that. So I think what we'll do actually, still cutting off, like, I think I need to move over, because basically the foreground bit, I could zoom in a bit, I suppose. And I want to slow it down a little bit more. F11. Right, before I start fanning around and moving things too much, let's see if I can. It's annoying that this rock doesn't go all the way across. Let's see what it looks like this way. That way again might be better. It's just so we haven't got much interest in the sky at all. Those clouds are quite flat. So one of the features that this camera has is focus bracketing. Now, I've never done that before. I've done bracketing before, but I've not done focus bracketing. So we will do 4 shots. Oh, hang on, have I set it to 3? Four shots. So 4 shots, standard bracket. I guess you stroke from start to back. I don't know what happened. Maybe it focuses from back to front, because that did not focus. I don't feel like the focus is moving. Okay, well, whilst we don't know how that function works, we'll go back to single shot and we'll do it ourselves. I tried my best with this method, but I think I needed to have some more frames for the stacking due to just how close the rocks and the sea frith were. I found I just couldn't blend them and make the image look right. However, I do really like that standalone image. Okay, right, so I think we've got something there. So what I'm going to do is move on, get a bit closer to the lighthouse and see if we can get some different compositions there. So whilst I was taking that first shot, there were some people that came past, so I'm not down here on my own anymore, but that shouldn't be a problem. I think I can still work, because it's quite a big area, and get some different photos, and also if needs be I can just Photoshop them out. So that fine sea misty rain is coming back in, which isn't going to be ideal. So what I'm going to do is try and figure out where to take my next photo from whilst it's raining, and then hopefully it will just pass. It seems what it has been doing so far this morning. It sort of comes into rain a bit and then it passes. So we're going to figure out where next to take our photo from. So I've just come out to the other side of the lighthouse to see if I can get a composition over here. There's loads of rocks over there, but they're so slippery. I really don't want to fall over. So I'm thinking there's more grass on this side, so I'm hoping that it might be a bit, well, easier underfoot to find some next composition. She says. Now, unfortunately for me, it is pretty much spot on low tide, which is not ideal for this sort of composition that I was hoping to get, really. So there's like a little bit of an inlet in front of me, and I've taken a photograph here before when the tide was higher that I was hoping to get, but obviously I can't do because it's low tide. And there's no water there, which is a shame. It's going to be a bit difficult, I think, to get a nice composition with the water element in it, because it's, yeah, just so low, which, I mean, I knew it was going to be low coming out. However, I was still hoping that there'd be some water around in some of the inlets to help sort of tie the image together, really, because at the moment it's just rock, which is nice, but I would really like to have some sort of water in it. I think I found an area that I can make work. Basically, we got this big puddle here, and I'm thinking reflection shot. What I'm going to do is sort of move around a bit until I find the sort of angle that I want. I'll take a shot there, and then what I'll do is set up on the tripod, I think, and see if we can't get another. There are a few little rocks in this little pool, which I'm sort of trying to work around to get the most, I think, there, reflection possible without cutting too much off or having it intersect with too many of the rocks. So what we've got to do now is wait for the sea mist to pass, really. And like I said, I'm going to do it handheld, and then I'm going to put it on the tripod. I might try with a 10 stop. I'm not too sure what that does with reflections, to be honest. So we'll see what that does as well. And hopefully it's a nice shot, because I haven't got a reflection shot of it before. So it'll be something a bit different. So I'm set up. We've got the sky clearing a little bit. Unfortunately, we have got some people here, so I'm going to end up having to clone them out because they're standing right in my frame and they haven't moved, which is frustrating. And they've been there for ages. But it's just clearing behind now, so I'm going to try and get my shots. And see how they turn out. I haven't got the ND filter on at the moment, but I might have to. I don't know if that needs to be lower, you know. We've actually got a ferry coming past, so let's see if I can combine everything into one shot. Reflections, a little bit. Ferry, a little bit. Obviously, with the ferry, I can't have the shutter too low, because else our ferry will be a bit of a blur, which we don't want. Who wants a blurry ferry? So these are the main two images with the ferry passing by. I removed the people in Photoshop, which was nice and easy as they were located with that wall behind them. And I also quickly whipped the camera off the tripod to get this handheld shot. So I'm all set up, waiting for them to go. I know I can clone them out, but I'd rather get it in one shot if I can. Maybe we'll practice with the 10 stop ND whilst we wait and see what we get with that. Probably not the worst idea, is it? Got some absolutely brilliant skies behind it, so I've just got to wait for these two people to just get out of the way for a moment. They're finally walking out of view and go. So this is with the 10 stop ND. I've got 4-second exposure, and let's see how that comes out. I can pick one, and I'm going to take the ND off and get one without it so I can get the reflection as well, and hope that people don't move back in. So we're going to have to do this quickly. Come off! Put my exposure right back up. So we're on 1/80th of a second at f13. Oh, I don't need speed boost on for that. And now it's just a case of trying to wait until we get a spot where the wind isn't too busy ruining my reflection. I really quite like this composition. I'm actually really pleased with it. Looks quite good in the camera, so I'm hoping that means it's translating to quite good in real life once I've done it and it's on the computer. So hopefully we'll just get a spot where the wind drops enough so the ripples stop on the puddle. I can probably take that off 2-second timer now and just snap away when the wind drops. I think what I'm going to do is just drop it down a little bit so I can get more reflection there. So it's not a lot, but I think that's enough to just get a little bit more reflection going on. Right, we're still where we were. I'm gone portrait now. We've got a ferry coming in, so I'm hoping that this is going to add a little bit to the left side of my image. I've got it sort of set up so the lighthouse is on 1/3 of the way in, and so hopefully this ferry will just fill a little bit on the left hand side, because at the moment I feel it looks a bit sparse. So we're going to be as quick as we can with this. I'm going to try and get a landscape and a portrait. We should probably do this handheld actually, but we'll see how it goes. I'm at 1/80th of a second, so that is more than fast enough, and we'll have this ferry go past and then we'll see if we can't find maybe one more set up before we head off. I think we got it. We've got reflections, we've got lighthouses, and oh, feel the burn. Oh, happy. Yes. Dead chuffed with that. Right, let's see if we can find one more spot, and then we'll head back. Such a nice lighthouse. If you are ever in Tobermory or on the Isle of Mull and you find yourself with a day spare, it's worth coming out here because it's a nice easy walk and it's a fabulous lighthouse to photograph and see. You got this like concreted bit down, however it's not going to work. I'm going to be shooting up into the sky, so not going to work this time. I'll have a look with my phone. What's the point in watching all these YouTube videos and learning tips if I don't put the tips into use. I don't dislike that. This will be a bit more zoomed in than 24. Another ferry. I think the foreground here is just a little bit messy. So I found another spot that I think is going to work. It's a little bit further back from where I just took my reflection shot, so we walked all the way around just to come back to where we were. However, it does look pretty cool, I think. Look, so I'm going to try and find a bit of a frame here. I still want to try and get a little bit of reflection if I can. Might have to move you out of the way. And back in there. There's nowhere to put you. Okay, right, you can go. No. Sorry, Osmo, dropped you once again. It's not your day, is it? Oh, that wind. Right, well, I think that's probably all we're going to get from this side. So what we'll do is we will go and have another look on the other side of the lighthouse just to see if there are any compositions there, and then take it from there. But I'm really quite happy with the shots that I got earlier, so I really hope they come out well. So we're on the other side of the lighthouse now, and I quite like the view from here. It's quite nice. We have got this green pool, which I'd like to try and potentially use as some foreground. But it does mean going on the slippery rocks. So we might not. We're just walking in the stony bit because that's where I feel safe. However, we got like this, the fishing vessel out behind it. So I feel like that's a nice little supporting actor in this potential image. So we're going to have a walk around on the dodgy bit and see. Here. We're going to set up here is what we're going to do. I quite like that. Still got the polarizer on, so let's see if we can get a shot from this side. Oh, bye. Right, we'll have to move around a bit, I think, to find the right spot. So, feel like maybe this green wasn't the best idea. It's quite overpowering in the image, and I don't want to cut it off because it's like one patch, and so I don't want to cut it off because I feel like that might look weird, but also it's not that nice. So we will work around, I think, and see if maybe the thing is, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Where's my stuff behind me? I don't know if I'm going to be able to avoid it, if I'm honest. Let's just make this a bit easier to walk with. See what I mean? A bit closer. It's just these black rocks which do not make for a very interesting or nice foreground for me. I'm sure it does for someone else. It's just too dark in comparison to the sort of the surroundings. So let's get out of this dodgy bit and go onto the this little stony bit that's not slippery. feel like there is a shot here. I just need to find the right spot. And it might be that it's further back, and then I'll cut the bright green patch out by getting the seaweed instead. Ooh. No, I missed. So, oh, that was a good one. I'm going to have to put a new screen protector on the back, but that's why I've got screen protectors. So here is a little bit better. I still got the green in, but it's not so much that it's dominating. However, we got a lot of sky, so I feel like maybe the track, you can sort of see it's behind me, I think we might have to take it from there on the way back. So I'm a bit further back from where I was. And so this looks to be, I think, the best spot for this image. We've got the lighthouse, we've got the fishing vessel. Let's see if we can get the shot. So at the moment, I'm not really liking it. I'll show you what I mean. There's too much green seaweed in it for my liking. I think even with sort of cutting it out in sort of Lightroom to make it a nicer colour like that. I think this one like shot here would probably be more like a high tide shot, so you've got the water and you could get sort of cut down on the reflections and stuff with it. But yeah, well, I'm really pleased with the images that I have got though today. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this little landscape photography trip. I don't think we did too badly. I'm quite happy with the images that I've got, and I have really enjoyed myself, and this is something that I'm going to try and do a bit more of because it's nice. It's a bit of a change of pace, and I've had an absolutely lovely time. I'm learning as well as I go, so all good things. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one.